Hi guys. So I started this channel because I felt like if I can help one person heal from a sociopath, a narcissist, a compulsive liar, then I've done my job. So I wanted to share a story with you. So there were several incidents and several lies that really damaged, I would say, my self-esteem, but also it damaged just even my ability. I used to question reality because of these incidents. Right? So when you're dating someone who is a narcissist, who is a sociopath, they will often make you question if something did happen. So I'll give you the first example. The first example was he told me that his ex-wife was pregnant for his best friend. He then told me that she stole his sperm from an in vitro clinic. Yeah. But you cannot argue with this person because what they were saying, it was real in his head. So he told me that it was someone from his motorcycle crew, his best friend. And I found out on social media that that child was his, right? So talk about devastating. Then fast forward, we had gotten into a huge argument. So he told me that he had a friend who had a girlfriend who was bipolar and she wasn't taking her medication. I know these people by name, but he was saying when she doesn't take her medication, she acts different. So we got into a huge argument and he calls a friend of mine and he says to her, oh, she's bipolar and she's not taking her medication. He literally took his friend's story and put it on me. And I'm like, I've never been diagnosed with bipolar. Why would you say that? I'm not on medication for bipolar. Why would you say that? He was just like, well, I did it. And I said, that's not normal. He's like, well, I did it. And then he tries to go around, oh no, I said this. Oh no, I said this. Trying to take it back. Another thing he did, he took other people's stories and made it our relationship. It was the craziest thing that I have ever experienced. He had a friend who was dating a girl and I guess the guy found out that the girl was cheating on him and she went to his apartment. They had it out and the young lady trashed his apartment. So I went to his house to confront him because he was cheating. And I just brought up certain things and I was like, I'm done. And I brought up his life of crime that he lived, some things that he did. And I talked about karma. He grabbed me, he pushed me into a shoe rack and there was a hole in his wall because he pushed me into a shoe rack. He then pushed me through his apartment. He yelled in my face, said he hopes that me and my son die. He was just diabolical. And I'm looking in this man's eyes and all I'm seeing is black, right? So I left that day, never called him, blocked him on all social media. And I know a lot of women, when they leave a relationship, they may go back and check that guy's social media. No, ma'am, I was done. I was like, this dude is psychotic and he's evil. Long story short, he calls my son. Mind you, he's the one that pushed me into walls. I had black and blues all over my body. And he tells my son, oh, she came to my apartment and she was throwing things. He literally took his friend's story again and made it his. So I have never encountered someone like that. So when I left the relationship, it wasn't that I was like, oh my goodness, I love him, I want to be with him. It was more so, oh my goodness, this person is such a compulsive liar. I was angry at myself. Why did I stay? I was angry at everything. I was questioning my reality. Did that happen? Why is he saying this? How could he do that? But one of the things I had to realize is that a person will change reality to make themselves the victim, especially a narcissist. And it's so important that you write down your reality and that you talk to a therapist or talk to a friend about what's going on. Because if you allow them to, they will make you feel like you're crazy. My ex's favorite line was, oh, you forget a lot. No, you said it. There was even a time where he told me that his son was autistic and his son was not autistic. And I brought it up and I was like, why would you even say that? How could you say that? And he's like, oh, I never said that. And I'm like, yes, you did. So these are just some examples of the traumatic events that I experienced. But what I can tell you is healing from a narcissist, the best revenge is to really let go and let God. I joined groups. I started doing things that I enjoyed. I would go in the park and just put my foot in the grass. I would go running. I started exercising. You have to stop and utilize all that energy, all the thoughts that are going through your mind. You have to be patient with yourself and tell yourself that everything happens for a reason. Someone asked me a question. They said, if you can go back and change it, would you? And my response was absolutely. I know there's a lot of people who sit down and we're like, hey, everything happens for a reason. And I do believe that. But the trauma from a narcissist, from a sociopath, it's indescribable. You literally are fighting with yourself about what happened in your life. And it's one of the hardest experiences in the world. So just surround yourself with love, and you have to go no contact. So craziest thing happened. I get a phone call, right? Because he's lying on me, saying all this stuff. But guess what? He pulled the same stunt on other women. So 2 women were, I guess, going at it. Something happened. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you continue to lie and hurt people. And karma got this individual. So I know it doesn't feel like it, but just allow karma, allow God, allow the universe to take care of that person, because they always do. And just know that you did your best. When you're in a relationship, you can only go halfway. And if the other person does not go the other half, there's nothing that you can do about it. But what you can do is you can heal through what you go through. So, again, I know that when you get out of a relationship with someone who is a liar, you question your reality and you think of what you could have done differently. But man's rejection is God's protection. I love you, but God loves you so much more.